So we're all familiar with the recent indiscretion involving Pastor John Gray, where he admitted to his congregation that he was, again, involved in a relationship with a woman who was not his wife, an inappropriate relationship, if you will. It was recently revealed, as in today, that a friend of his, Pastor Lentz, was unceremoniously fired from his position as the senior pastor of Hillsong Church, New York City, due to his own inappropriate relationship with a woman who was not his wife. Most of you may not be familiar with this so-called pastor, but let me catch you up to speed. He's one of those mega church pastors like John Gray who seems to be the pastor of celebrities. The celebrity he was most linked to is Justin Bieber, where he supposedly provided religious mentorship for him. He was seen around town with him, and Bieber even participated in his church as a worship leader. While serving in that capacity, his relationship with Justin Bieber ended. He had this to say when asked about Justin and Hailey's engagement, having been a longtime so-called father figure and friend to them both.
Justin Bieber's wedding? No idea. Do you have any thoughts on Justin Bieber and Hailey getting engaged?
No.
No? Are you happy for them?
Yeah, sure.
Do you see who's in the background with him? Yup, that's John Gray posing with fans and Adventure on his right, in frame of the paparazzi. So fast forward to today, where, as mentioned before, that he was fired for having an affair allegedly with a popular New York City blogger. The Daily Mail contacted the woman, and she had no comment as expected. However, it is noted that she would like all his posts on Instagram. He followed her and she followed him, but the wife didn't follow her. As in true celebrity pastor fashion, he posted this lengthy post admitting his guilt on Instagram, where he said, "Our time at Hillsong, New York City has come to an end. This is a hard ending to what has been the most amazing, impacting, and special chapter of our lives. Leading this church has been an honor in every sense of the word, and it is impossible to articulate how much we've loved and will always love the amazing people of this church. When you accept the calling of being a pastor, you must live in such a way that it honors the mandate. That is, honor the church, and that it honors God. When that does not happen, a change needs to be made, and has been made in this case, to ensure that standard is upheld. Laura and I and our amazing children have given all that we have to serve and build this church, and over the years, I did not do an adequate job of protecting my own spirit, refilling my own soul, and reaching out for the readily available help that is available. When you lead out of an empty place, you make choices that have real and painful consequences. I was unfaithful in my marriage, the most important relationship in my life, and held accountable for that. This failure is on me and me alone, and I take full responsibility of my actions. I now begin a journey of rebuilding trust with my wife, Laura, and my children, and taking real time to work on and heal my own life and seek out the help that I need. I am deeply sorry for breaking the trust of many people who have loved serving and understand that this news can be very hard and confusing for people to hear and process. I would like to say this with my own voice to you in person because you are owed that, but that opportunity I will not have. So to those people, I pray you can forgive me and that over time I can live a life where trust is earned. To our pastors, Brian and Bobby, thank you for allowing us to lead, allowing us to thrive, and giving us room to have a choice, have a voice that you have never stifled or tried to silence. Thank you for your grace and kindness, especially in this season, as you have done so much to protect and love us through this. We, the Lentz family, do not know what this next chapter will look like, but we will walk into it together, very hopeful and grateful for the grace of God. Now, this is not a judgment of these men, but 2020 continues to be the year of revelation, hasn't it? Hear this man who proclaims he was called to preach the gospel to the masses, and yet, like most great men, succumbed to the fruits of the flesh. He, like John Gray, seemed to think that the church is a place to pick up women or live out a lifelong fantasy of being that guy to women who aren't their wives. And like John Gray's wife, Adventure, it seems that his wife is standing by him and is willing to face the humiliation that comes with being perceived as being undesirable. Own husband to the world. Do you think his wife should stay with him after embarrassing her the way he has? Are men like him even called by God to preach to the flock? John Gray bought his wife a Lamborghini truck as an apology gift. I wonder what his wife will get as hers. This man was referred to as the hot preacher, and that he delivered the word from the Hammerstein ballroom and not the so-called stuffy pulpit. They say he was cool and that he wore Yves Saint Laurent, that he was down with the so-called kids along with athletes and celebrities. So, is this the new criteria to be a preacher? What is clear is that he was not down with what was required of him to lead his congregation, no matter how hip and down with the people he was. I personally prefer my preachers to be men that aren't competing for the spotlight to highlight themselves, but a man who is willing to be used by God and deliver that message in a fashion that it can be received, pondered on, and actioned in the lives of the parishioners. One who elevates God and puts Jesus in the spotlight and isn't in direct competition with their maker. You see, the Bible speaks of all those men that have fallen due to the same exact thing. And I am sure he has delivered that message to his congregation. But it goes to show you that just because you preach it doesn't mean you live it. And that is the great tragedy of all of this, because those same young, hip kids that he was so down with have now become cynical, I'm sure, and are questioning God altogether, all because yet again, another so-called preacher couldn't keep it in his pants. And I'm not talking about the Bible. These are just my thoughts and not a judgment on the matter. Comment below your opinions. Remember to subscribe if you haven't. Like, comment, and share. Also, turn on your notification bell and stay tuned for more. And I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.